Welcome back to the Dr. Wash Brains podcast, where we dive deep into the intricacies of human health, unraveling the science beyond the systems that make us who we are. I am Dr. Akash Sehgil, and today we are going to explore a topic that affects each and every one of us, often more deeply than we realize: chronic stress. But we're not just talking about stress as an abstract concept. We're delving into the biological mechanisms that shape how stress influences our bodies, our minds, and ultimately our lifespans. Imagine this. You are caught in traffic, late for an important meeting. Your heart races, your muscles tense up, and you feel that familiar rush of anxiety. In these moments, your body is activating a survival response. A response that, evolutionarily speaking, was designed to help our ancestors outrun predators. But in the modern world, where stress is more psychological than physical, this response can become chronic, leading to a cascade of biological changes that have profound effects on our health. In recent years, scientific advancements have shed new light on how chronic stress affects our physiology, right down to the cellular level. We're talking about alterations in our DNA, changes in how immune system functions, and even how our brains are wired. But what does this mean for us as individuals? And what also does it mean for society as a whole? Let's start with a fundamental question. How does chronic stress affect longevity? You see, our understanding of lifespan has evolved dramatically. It is no longer just about how long we live, but about how well we live those years. And here is where it gets fascinating. Chronic stress has been shown to accelerate aging at the cellular level, particularly through its effects on structures called telomeres, which protect our DNA. Shortened telomeres are associated with a host of age related diseases, including cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, and even cancer. But what if, what if we could intervene? What if we could slow down the process or even reverse it? The pursuit of extending human lifespan is no longer the stuff of science fiction. It is a rapidly growing field with real world implications. Yet, as we push the boundaries of what is possible, we must also consider the ethical dilemmas that arise. Is it right to extend life at the cost of quality? How do we ensure that these advancements are accessible to all and not just the privileged few? And then there is the side of the story, the individual battles we each face with stress. I've had patients that have shared their stories of burnout, of feeling trapped in a cycle of stress that seems impossible to break. These stories are not just anecdotes, they are lived experiences that highlight the urgent need for effective stress management strategies. As we move through today's episode, I want you to think about your own experiences with stress. How does it manifest in your life? And more importantly, how can you begin to take control of it? To not only live longer, but to live better. We'll explore the latest research, break down complex biological mechanisms, and discuss practical strategies for managing stress. By the end of this episode, you'll have a deeper understanding of how chronic stress impacts your health and, more importantly, what you can do about it. So, let's dive in. Stress is something we have all experienced, from minor daily irritations to overwhelming life events. But what happens when stress becomes a constant presence in our lives? How does it impact our bodies, our minds, and ultimately our longevity? Today, we will explore the biological mechanisms that link chronic stress to health, longevity, and quality of life. We'll also discuss practical strategies to manage stress effectively, helping you not to just live longer but to live better. Let's start by understanding what stress actually is. Stress is a natural response, an adaptive mechanism that our ancestors developed to survive in a world full of threats. When faced with danger, whether it was a predator or a rival, the body's fight or flight response kicked in. The brain signaled the adrenal glands to release hormones like adrenaline and cortisol, which prepared the body for immediate action. Your heart rate increased, breathing quickened, and blood flow was redirected to the muscles, readying you for either fight or flight. In the context of our ancestors, this was a life saving response. But in the modern world, where threats are often psychological rather than physical, this response can become maladaptive. Instead of short bursts of stress followed by periods of recovery, many of us experience chronic stress, an ongoing state of heightened alertness that can wreak havoc on our bodies over time. To understand the impact of chronic stress on our health, we need to delve into the biology of it. Let's start with cortisol, often referred to as the stress hormone. In short bursts, cortisol is beneficial. It enhances the immune response, helps with memory formation, and provides the energy boost needed to face challenges. However, when stress becomes chronic and cortisol levels remain elevated for prolonged periods, the consequences can be detrimental. Cortisol is produced by the adrenal glands in response to signals from the hypothalamus and pituitary gland. Its primary function is to regulate various processes in the body, including metabolism, immune response, and the inflammatory response. During acute stress, cortisol levels rise quickly, leading to a temporary increase in blood sugar levels, a suppression of the immune system, and a shift in energy production from fat stores. However, when cortisol levels remain high due to chronic stress, these processes can become dysregulated. For example, prolonged elevation of blood sugar can lead to insulin resistance, a precursor to type 2 diabetes. The constant suppression of the immune system can make the body more susceptible to infections and slow down the healing processes. Chronic inflammation, driven by high cortisol levels, is associated with a range of diseases, including cardiovascular disease, cancer, and neurodegenerative disorders. One of the most well documented effects of chronic stress is its impact on the cardiovascular system. Elevated cortisol levels lead to increased blood pressure and heart rate, which over time can damage the arteries and increase the risk of heart disease. Chronic stress is also associated with higher levels of cholesterol and triglycerides, further contributing to cardiovascular risk. A landmark study published in The Lancet in 2020 found that individuals with high levels of chronic stress had a significantly increased risk of developing cardiovascular disease. The researchers followed over 100,000 participants for more than a decade and found that those with the highest levels of stress had a 50% higher risk of heart attacks and strokes compared to those with low levels of stress. But it is not just the heart that is affected. Chronic stress can also lead to the buildup of plaques in the arteries, a condition known as atherosclerosis. Over time, these plaques can rupture, leading to a heart attack or stroke. The inflammatory response triggered by chronic stress plays a key role in this process, highlighting the interconnectedness of stress, inflammation, and cardiovascular health. Talking about the brain and chronic stress. The brain is both a target and a source of stress. The hippocampus, which is a region in the brain which is involved in memory and learning, is particularly vulnerable to the effects of chronic stress. Elevated cortisol levels can lead to the shrinkage of the hippocampus, impairing memory and cognitive function. In fact, studies have shown that individuals with chronic stress have smaller hippocampal volumes compared to those without chronic stress. But the effects of chronic stress on the brain do not stop here. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for decision making, impulse control, and emotional regulation, is also affected. Chronic stress can lead to a reduction in the size and function of the prefrontal cortex, making it harder to manage stress, regulate emotions, and make sound decisions. Moreover, chronic stress can alter the brain's reward system, leading to changes in behavior. For example, stress is associated with increased consumption of high fat, high sugar foods, a phenomenon known as stress eating. This can contribute to weight gain, obesity, and metabolic syndromes, further exacerbating the health risks associated with chronic stress. Now, one of the most intriguing areas of research on chronic stress is its impact on aging, specifically through its effects on telomeres. Telomeres are the protective caps at the ends of our chromosomes that prevent the loss of genetic information during cell division. Each time a cell divides, its telomeres they shorten slightly. When telomeres become too short, the cell can no longer divide and becomes senescent or dies. This process is a key factor in aging and age related diseases. Chronic stress has been shown to accelerate telomere shortening, effectively speeding up the aging process. A groundbreaking study by Nobel laureate Elizabeth Blackburn and her colleagues found that women who experienced high levels of chronic stress had significantly shorter telomeres than those with low stress levels. The difference in telomere length corresponded to a difference in biological age of nearly a decade. The implications of this research are profound. If chronic stress accelerates aging at the cellular level, it could lead to a host of age related diseases, including cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and cancer. This connection between stress and aging underscores the importance of managing stress effectively to promote longevity and healthy aging. While the link between chronic stress and health is well established, it is important to acknowledge the limitations of current research. Much of the evidence comes from observational studies, which can show associations but not causality. Experimental studies, which are better studied to establishing causality, are more challenging to conduct in this area because they would require subjecting participants to prolonged period of stress, which raises ethical concerns. Moreover, while the biological mechanisms linking chronic stress to disease are becoming clearer, there is still much we do not know. For example, we don't fully understand why some people are more resilient to stress than others. Genetic factors likely play a role, as do early life experiences, but the precise mechanisms are still under investigation. Another limitation is the variability in how stress is measured. Some studies rely on self reported measures of stress, which can be subjective and influenced by factors such as personality and mood. Other studies use biological markers such as cortisol levels, but these can fluctuate throughout the day and may not always accurately reflect chronic stress. Finally, it's worth noting that while much of the research on stress and health focuses on the negative aspects of stress, not all stress is bad though. In fact, a certain amount of stress, known as eustress, can be beneficial, motivating us to achieve our goals and helping us to adapt to challenges. The key is finding the right balance between eustress and distress and developing strategies to manage chronic stress effectively. Given the profound impact of chronic stress on health, finding effective ways to manage stress is crucial. Fortunately, there are several evidence based strategies that can help. One of the most well researched strategies for managing stress is mindfulness and meditation. Now, mindfulness involves paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It can reduce stress by promoting a state of relaxation and reducing the physiological arousal associated with the stress response. Numerous studies have shown that mindfulness meditation can lower cortisol levels, lower blood pressure, and improve immune function. A meta analysis published in JAMA found that mindfulness meditation was associated with significant reductions in anxiety, depression, and stress. One of the reasons mindfulness is so effective is that it changes the way the brain responds to stress. Research has shown that mindfulness can increase the thickness of the prefrontal cortex, the area of the brain involved in executive function and emotional regulation. It can also reduce the size of the amygdala, the brain's fear center, which plays a key role in the response to stress. For those new to mindfulness, it can be helpful to start with just a few minutes of meditation each day and gradually increasing the duration as you become more comfortable with the practice. There are also many applications and online resources available that can guide you through mindfulness meditation exercises. Exercise is another powerful tool for managing stress. Physical activity helps to reduce stress by releasing endorphins, the body's natural mood enhancers. It also reduces levels of cortisol and adrenaline, helping to counteract the stress response. Regular exercise has been shown to have numerous benefits for mental health, including reducing symptoms of anxiety and depression. It can also improve sleep, which is often disrupted by chronic stress. Interestingly, different types of exercise may have different effects on stress. Exercise such as running or cycling is particularly effective for reducing stress, but strength training and yoga also have benefits. The key is to find an activity that you enjoy and that fits into your lifestyle. Social connections are another important buffer against stress. Studies have shown that people with strong social support networks are less likely to experience chronic stress and its negative health effects. Social support can come from friends, family, co workers, or support groups, and it can take many forms, from providing practical help to offering emotional support. One of the ways that social support helps to reduce stress is by activating the release of oxytocin, a hormone that promotes feelings of bonding and trust. Oxytocin has been shown to counteract the effects of cortisol, reducing stress and promoting relaxation. If you're feeling stressed, reaching out to a friend or a loved one can be a powerful way to alleviate stress. Even just talking about your feelings can help you reduce it and provide a sense of perspective. What you eat can also have a significant impact on your stress levels. A diet high in processed foods, sugar, and unhealthy fats can exacerbate stress, while a diet rich in whole foods such as fruits, vegetables, and lean proteins can help to reduce stress. Certain nutrients, such as omega 3 fatty acids, magnesium, and B vitamins, have been shown to have stress reducing effects. Omega 3 fatty acids found in fatty fish like salmon have anti inflammatory properties that can help to reduce the inflammation associated with chronic stress. Magnesium found in leafy greens, nuts, seeds can help to relax muscles and calm the nervous system down. B vitamins found in whole grains, eggs, and legumes are important for energy production and can help to support the body's stress response. In addition to eating a balanced diet, it is also important to stay hydrated and limit the intake of caffeine and alcohol, both of which can increase stress levels. If you're struggling with stress, it may be worth consulting with a nutrition or dietitian who can help you develop a stress reducing eating plan. While we have made significant strides in understanding the biological mechanisms of chronic stress, there is still much more to learn. One area of active research is the role of the gut microbiome in stress and mental health. Emerging evidence suggests that gut microbiome, the trillions of bacteria that live in our digestive tract, plays a key role in regulating the stress response. The gut and the brain are connected via the gut brain axis, a bidirectional communication system that links the central nervous system with the gut. This regulation of the gut microbiome has been linked to a range of mental health conditions, including anxiety, depression, and stress related disorders. Future research is likely to focus on developing interventions that target the gut microbiome to reduce stress and improve mental health. This could include the use of prebiotics, probiotics, and dietary interventions to modulate the composition of the gut microbiome. Another area of interest is the role of genetics in stress resilience. While we know that some people are more resilient to stress than others, the genetic factors that contribute to this resilience are still not fully understood. Advances in genetic research, including the use of genome wide association studies or GWAS and epigenetics, may help to identify the genes and genetic variants that contribute to stress resilience. This could pave the way for personalized interventions that are tailored to an individual's genetic makeup. Finally, as our understanding of the biological mechanisms of stress continues to evolve, there is potential for the development of new treatments and interventions that target these mechanisms directly. For example, researchers are exploring the use of drugs that target the stress response pathways, such as the cortisol receptor antagonists, to reduce the impact of chronic stress on health. As we explore the future of stress research and potential interventions, it is important to consider the ethical implications. The development of new treatments and interventions raises questions about accessibility, equity, and the potential for misuse. One ethical consideration is the potential for disparities in access to stress reducing interventions. As with many medical advancements, there is a risk that these interventions could be more accessible to those with greater financial resources, leading to disparities in health outcomes. It is crucial that researchers, policymakers, and healthcare providers work together to ensure that effective stress management strategies are accessible to all, regardless of socio-economic status. Another ethical consideration is the potential for misusing stress reducing interventions. For example, there is a risk that drugs designed to reduce stress could be used inappropriately or without sufficient oversight, leading to unintended consequences. It is important that any new treatments are thoroughly tested for safety and efficacy and that they are used in conjunction with rather than as a replacement for lifestyle interventions that promote overall well being. Chronic stress is a pervasive and insidious force that can have profound effects on our health and longevity. From its impact on the cardiovascular system and the brain to its role in accelerating the aging process, the consequences of chronic stress are far reaching. However, by understanding the biological mechanisms that underlie these effects, we can develop effective strategies to manage stress and mitigate its impact on our health. In today's episode, we have explored the science of chronic stress, discussed the latest research, and offered practical tips for managing stress in your daily life. While there is still much to learn, the evidence is clear. Managing stress is essential for promoting a long, healthy, and fulfilling life. As you go about your day, I encourage you to reflect on your own experiences with stress. What are your stress triggers? How does stress manifest in your body and mind? And most importantly, what steps can you take to reduce stress and enhance your well being? Remember, stress management is not about eliminating stress entirely, it is about finding balance and developing resilience. By incorporating mindfulness, exercise, social support, and healthy nutrition into your life, you can take control of stress and improve your quality of life. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the science of stress. I hope you found this episode informative and empowering, which is a part of my quest to make health a dinner table conversation. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out. And as always, take care of yourself. Stay curious and keep exploring the incredible science that shapes our lives. Until next time, I'm Dr. Akash Sehgal, and this is the Dr. Wash Trains podcast.